Hello everyone! Almost every day, new TV shows appear, and many of them are really great and binge-worthy. Still, none of them can compare to the classic TV shows from the past.
Oh my God!
Funny moments and surprising secrets, the mysteries of some episodes, fan theories, and even possibilities of a sequel. Welcome to the world of the most legendary sitcoms in history. Let's get it on! Mr. Cauliflower. In 1990, thousands of British TV viewers saw a funny man in a tweed suit and red tie falling from the sky in a beam of light onto a deserted street in London. Thus began the era of an eccentric character who conquered the world with his ability to get into ridiculous situations and get out of them in an absurd way. We're talking about Mr. Bean. Don't you think his name perfectly reflects his personality? The creators of the series worked really hard to achieve this effect. After all, they chose the name Mr. Bean only after the first episode was aired. Turns out, Atkinson and the filming crew tried out dozens of vegetable names, including Mr. Cauliflower. Luckily, they chose the name Mr. Bean because who likes cauliflower? Mr. Bean's name. By the way, why does Rowan Atkinson's character always use his last name? Couldn't the creators of the show come up with a name? On the contrary, they approached this matter in an incredibly creative way. Let's look at an episode where Mr. Bean is driving the police crazy. Here, he shows his passport, and according to it, his name is, yes, his name is Mr. So if you want to show respect, you should call him Mr. Bean? Well, what else could we expect from this eccentric character? Alien Mr. Bean. Let's take a look at some facts. Mr. Bean wears the same clothes every day, has trouble socializing with people, and, as we said, he fell from the sky. It is clear that Mr. Bean is an alien. Even in an episode of the animated series Double Trouble, Mr. Bean almost goes back to his home planet in a flying saucer. However, there is another fan theory. Atkinson's character was a normal member of society, but then he was abducted by aliens and subjected to various experiments. After that, he returned to Earth as a weirdo. The creators of the show do not refute any of the versions, so all we can do is speculate. Do you have an argument to support one of the theories? Tell us in the comments. Fallen Angel. But not only aliens fall from the sky, right? When Mr. Bean first appears, he's surrounded by bright light and we can hear an angelic choir. So he could well be a fallen angel? Fans have also considered this theory, and you should listen to their arguments. In 2003, the film Love Actually was released. It's the directorial debut of Richard Curtis, Mr. Bean's screenwriter. According to first drafts, one of the characters was supposed to be a Christmas angel who could affect the lives of the people around him. Well, this character must have been Rufus, the jewelry seller portrayed by Atkinson. Isn't that a suspicious coincidence? A sequel? Mr. Bean lasted for only 14 episodes, and the last of them was released in 2006. Can you believe it? Why haven't any new episodes appeared? Rowan Atkinson has already answered this question. In 2011, he declared that there will be no sequel. The actor doesn't want the character to grow old. However, in an interview 5 years later, Rowan said Mr. Bean is not planning on retiring just yet. Are you kidding us, Mr. Atkinson? Now the actor continues to give his voice to the cartoon character and uses his image in different commercials. There's even a sketch known as Funeral, which can be considered as the 15th episode of the series. So, if you're a fan of the show, don't lose hope. Blue car. One thing Mr. Bean has in common with his countrymen is his hatred for his blue three-wheeled car. Did you think that was one of his eccentricities? It turns out that this car has been hated for a long time, becoming a meme in the UK. The fact is that it's a terrible car. It's made of fiberglass, a material that gets damaged even after a light blow. Also, it's very unstable, so Mr. Bean ends up flipping it in every episode. So it's no coincidence that this car has been chosen as Mr. Bean's antagonist. It must be punished. Gunther from Friends. It's time to talk about another legendary show, Friends. Surely you are hearing the famous song in your head and imagining the 7 characters of the show. In addition to the main characters, Gunther, the barista with hair brighter than the sun, won our hearts forever. How did the creators manage to find this charismatic actor? Well, actually, they didn't try too hard, and shows the only extra who knew how to work an espresso machine. The actor James Tyler has a master's degree in fine arts, but he got a role in one of the best series in history thanks to his ability to make coffee. Life is very strange. Bazinga.
Bazinga. Bazinga. Bazinga.
If you thought Sheldon Cooper was going to show up suddenly, we're sorry. We just wanted to talk about these beautiful orchid bees. Usually new species are given some kind of long and complicated Latin name, but researchers from Brazil decided to do something different. This brilliant insect puzzled them for a long time because of its resemblance to another species. When the scientists finally discovered that the bee was fooling them, the phrase from The Big Bang Theory came to their minds. That's why they decided to name this pretty bee Euglassa bazinga, although we don't know if Sheldon would be happy about it. Real scientists. Who is the smartest person in Big Bang Theory? Let's say the name on the count of 3. 1, 2, Amy Farrah Fowler. Okay, we didn't say the smartest character. Sheldon, of course, is a genius and an expert in physics, but he is a fictional character. However, of all the actors in the series, Mayim Bialik is the only one with a PhD in real life, and she actually is a neurobiologist. The creators of the comedy chose her for a very good reason. They gave Amy the same profession, so that Mayim could correct any mistakes in the script. Clever, isn't it? Jim Parsons' Trick. We love this comedy about charismatic geeks for many reasons, but also for all its references to comics, video games, and pop culture. The real expert on this subject is Sheldon, of course. He seems to know every science fiction movie by heart, but your life is never gonna be the same after you hear this. In an interview, Jim Parsons admitted that he had never seen Doctor Who. Amazingly, he hasn't watched a single episode of Star Trek either. What can we say? Bazinga. How I Met Your Mother ending. Do you think you can keep a secret? Even a mute person can't compare to the actors from the show How I Met Your Mother. They kept the main secret of the show for almost 10 years. And yes, we're gonna tell you, so you should close your ears if you haven't seen the show. From season 2, the actors knew that Ted's wife would not be Robin. The final scene of the series was filmed 8 years before the premiere of the last episode, because the actors who played Ted's children would have grown up too much. Don't you think they deserve an award for their ability to keep secrets? Britney Spears to the rescue. By the way, did you know that the show How I Met Your Mother almost ended shortly after it began? The first series was released in 2005, and a few years later, production had to be stopped due to a strike by the Writers Guild of America. When the time came to resume work, the creators had a very difficult task: to win back the love of the audience, and they were helped by Britney Spears. The singer herself wanted to appear in the show. According to the creators of the series, Craig Thomas and Carter Bays, she literally saved them. On behalf of all the fans, thank you, Britney. Unusual proposal. Let's now think about how embarrassing this scene was for Ted. The main thing is that the girl in the background will remember it forever. Let us explain why. The man in this scene is called Timothy, and he wanted to propose to his girlfriend in an original way. One day, his brother called him and said, "We're filming an episode with a wedding ring. Do you want to be a part of it?" Who would let an opportunity like that pass by? But Timothy told his girlfriend that they would only have to sit at the table as extras. Imagine her surprise when suddenly her boyfriend got up and took the ring. She understood what was happening only when she heard the crew clapping. Can you think of anything more romantic? Crossover of the century. Are you a fan of both Scrubs and How I Met Your Mother? Hopefully you haven't confused the characters played by the actress Shara Chalk in your head. She became the dermatologist Stella just shortly after finishing her work as Dr. Elliot Reed. She didn't even change her lab coat. We're not joking. One night, Sarah received a call and was asked to come to the set in her Scrubs outfit. The directors didn't even have time to remove Elliot's name and covered it with a pocket protector. It's practically a crossover. Scrubs filming locations. We think everyone agrees that Scrubs, despite being a comedy, is also a very realistic series with great attention to details. For example, all the episodes from the first 8 seasons, except for the pilot, were filmed at a real hospital, North Hollywood Medical Center. This small private institution closed in 1998, but got a new lease of life thanks to the comedy series. However, we have bad news for fans of the series. The building was demolished in 2011 and cannot be visited. But what about the pilot series? It was filmed in another abandoned hospital, which was also destroyed. What a pity. Hold on a second. Do you want to see some crazy stories from real life? Nothing dull, only action. Only adventures, chases and fights, love confessions and sudden betrayals. Don't believe us? Follow the link and see for yourselves. Our animation channel Private Diary reveals the deepest secrets. Don't forget to subscribe.